Hi everyone, welcome to our live stream today. I'm here with Mary, Paulista and Carolyn, and we're going to be talking about the release of the magazine today, the Community Arts Magazine, the Creative Mental Health Guide. So it's really exciting. This is a project that I used to do some time back, and this is our big relaunch, and got the team with me. There's a really exciting moment. Obviously we're in the middle of the festival. We've talked about lots of different things, and we've had some showcases of different types of art, and today is World Mental Health Day, so it's a particularly special day where we're celebrating open discussion. So yeah, let me say hello to everyone. Carolyn, would you like to introduce yourself? We'll go through.
Hi, yeah. So I'm one of the founder directors of the Good Mental Health Cooperative, which is a social enterprise based in Portsmouth. We do work around kind of south part of Hampshire, the Solent region. Lots of projects.
Loads
Basically
of projects.
using creativity, isn't it, to kind of promote good mental health.
Yeah, and actually the organisation Karen's talking about is our charity. That's the main focus for the festival, the Good Mental Health Cooperative. So yeah, Carolyn's like our you. I wouldn't want. I almost want to call you chief, but that's not the right word, really. I feel like you're my chief sometimes. In a very, very fond way. But no,
I kind of keep the wheels turning.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. But no, it's been absolutely brilliant to have this festival to, raise funds. I mean, it's really great.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for the support and being out there. And then we've got Paulista. It's next on the screen. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Paulista, and I am based in Omaha, Nebraska, in the U.S. And for me, creative mental health guide and creativity in general is a way of creating hope, creating presence. And I find that the harder the emotions are, the more vibrant the art is, which always kind of surprises me. I was a photographer for a large portion of my life. That was my primary art, and I'm still a photographer. But about 10 years ago, I decided that I wanted to start painting, and so I did it and didn't know anything. Um, so I'm mostly self-taught. And the interesting thing for me has been that prior to starting art, I never dreamed in color. And
Your art's so
now,
colourful often.
now I always dream in color. It's like turning the Technicolor on in The Wizard of Oz.
Wow.
So I'm happy to be here. Welcome everyone, and that's me.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a lovely introduction. And it's interesting how, because we actually met through this project, didn't we? And I mean, when was that? Would have been in probably maybe 2014, 2013, when this project was going in its early days. And
Right.
we, yeah, so it's been some time. And we just kind of linked up. We met over social media, so it's become this project for me has become like a really cool, an amazing way where I've linked in with people from all over the world, and that's also how I met Mary too, who's next on your screen. So, Mary, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone and good evening. I'm Mary from India and I'm an independent filmmaker and author. And I met Sarah through Facebook. I saw her post. She had asked help for the festival, so I kind of volunteered and then it kind of snowballed from there. We are relaunching the magazine today and I'm really happy to be part of this initiative. Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you so much, team. Good to meet you.
It's really cool. It's really cool to have you guys here together. Um, and actually, meeting you, Mary, was the inspiration of relaunching the magazine, um,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it had been dormant for some time, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I knew I wanted to do something with it. I knew that it was a project really worth something, really, really valuable, and something that I really wanted to keep going, but I wasn't sure how, and I didn't know quite the direction. And then we started talking, and ideas
yeah.
started flowing, and then we kind of come up with the model that we've got now. And then I contacted Paulista and said, "Look, I'm redoing this thing. Let's." Are you still interested? And that's how it all happened. And then Carolyn, I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this
Yeah.
again." And then the team were together.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
yeah, it's been really exciting.
It's truly international.
Yeah,
Very international.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. And isn't it funny how at a time when actually we've been so disconnected in a way that we have been able to actually connect in ways that we probably wouldn't have done so well before, connecting across nations like we're just next door, but probably not speaking to our next door neighbours as much.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I thought that the other day. I'm seeing people sort of across the world, but I'm not going outside my flat so much. So I'm not seeing people who live down the street. but um, but that's the funny thing about this weird time we're in, isn't it?
Yes.
So the magazine in itself is launched today, and um, let's talk a little bit about what it's all about. And um, I'd like to actually bring you in, Paulista, if I can, because I know you wrote that incredible statement about the mission of the magazine, and we had a conversation before you did that, where that vibe came out, and we really like that this same message resonated with us both. So you have such a great way of words, far better than I do. Could I pass over to you to kind of give that mission statement?
I think that what like, especially during COVID, where people are so physically distanced from one another, that it's important to emphasize visibility and connection. Um, and I really feel like creativity is a way to be seen. Whether or not you decide to share it on social media or not, it's a way to express, and it's a way to see the emotions, see the feelings, because the instrument that you hold in your own hand is only going to tell you the truth, whatever that truth happens to be. And so For me personally, the way that that works is I don't judge my art. I don't attach to outcome. It is the place in which I've learned to be self accepting and gentle with myself. And so for me, that's the value of creativity. The value of creativity is how it transforms me
Mm.
in the process, just as much as whatever it is I make. And actually, it's more important than what I make. It's about how it transforms me. And that's what I'm hoping Creative Mental Health Guide can do for everyone else because it's an amazing platform that allows people to be able to speak. And that's important.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I think that's the platform is built um, on that value of giving everyone an equal voice, that everyone's voice matters, and any people, anyone who wants to submit to the magazine will have a voice. Will be heard. We wouldn't turn anyone away. Um, we because it's this is the importance of it. And similarly, if you're not somebody who wants to submit, but you're just someone who wants to read it and look and connect, then that's what it's all about as well. That connection and feeling the message between communities, bringing us all together. Yeah, yeah, lovely. Um, I'm just wanting to mention to those of you who are watching on the stream, drop us a message. Let me know. Have you checked out the website? It's only just come out today, so it's all right if you haven't. Maybe you can go after you've watched us here. But yeah, drop us a message. Let me know you're there. Because performing this way, it can be a bit lonely. So it's nice to know that you're there and sort of say hello. Even if you just say hello, that's cool. um, and last night we did or yesterday we did a film night, which was a topic that was really close to my heart personally, where some of those films were about it was a message around um, making sure that we notice men can appreciate their feelings and be heard, because obviously male suicide rates are going up. This is a world problem, and we had some films yesterday that really portrayed some very raw aspects of that. And Mary was one of the film creators, and has also submitted some work for the magazine. And so if you haven't seen that, go and have a look, because it's a really important message. And I'm just wondering, Mary, kind of, what would you say to people out there at the moment in terms of your creativity and the things that you're doing, and your message and what that means for you?
Hmm. For me personally, this pandemic, like for almost 6 months, I've been inside my house,
Yeah.
but this has been a good moment to kind of connect with a lot of people online, because I have two podcast shows and like kind of interview shows. I interview authors from around the world and film personalities. So I have met so many people and so many different stories, and each one of them they have their like a heart touching tale to tell. So I think that is really nice. I learned a lot from their stories and the experiences in life. So I feel that this, then, Sarah told me that she had a magazine and it's kind of dormant right now. So I thought, why not start it? Maybe people will submit. It might take some time to get used to it, but then people may come out and they might speak about their feelings, and it's a good way to kind of share it with the world. Maybe somebody who doesn't have that kind of courage might get inspired by whatever somebody else submits. So that is what I feel like. This is an amazing way to deal with a lot of things and get in touch with people. That is more important.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool. And Carolyn, I know a lot of you've done work, quite a few bits of work before about tackling stigma, um, and also your courses around like being kind to yourself, and you do quite a lot of writing around that. And I was just wondering, like, what inspires you with your articles? Because you seem to write quite. Because I've been following your blogs for a while. Because obviously you've come into the magazine, but I know that you were doing some really regular blogs for a long time. And as a dyslexic myself, I can't imagine ever being able to write that many blogs. But I know you obviously enjoy it. And I just wondered what inspires you. How do you get your ideas for your articles? Do you have any particular process, or they just kind of come up?
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I'm just inspired to, some sort of theme presents itself, and I can write something. Sometimes I feel really stuck, and I have to kind of go on a bit of an internet search to get something that will help me. And yeah, but I do like writing. And I think what I always go back to when I'm writing which is the thing, which is actually the theme of World Mental Health Day this year, is mental health is for all, or something like that.
Oh, I didn't even know we had a theme.
And I always want to, yeah, there always is a theme.
Oh.
I checked it out. Yeah, it was, mental health is for all. But I always have a kind of I suppose my route is that everyone has mental health, just like we have physical health, and everyone, you can have good mental health, you can have poor mental health, you can have mental ill health, which is really disabling and traumatic, that. So there's a kind of a spectrum, and we're not able yet. I mean, in a way, that's something I think that the pandemic has helped a bit with, the language around mental health, because lots of people have been talking about the impact of lockdown, for example, on their mental health. It's been raised, in a sense, there's this sense that it affects everybody's mental health. So it's less stigmatizing then. It's not kind of other. It's not all those people over there, who have mental health, which unfortunately is language that you hear a lot, even in, amongst mental health professionals.
That they have mental health. Yeah. So I hate that. It's just such a horrible statement.
It's a horrible term, I know. So I often kind of, that's the root of what I'm always trying to think about, how messages come across, and so that actually it's a normal experience for people to have, difficulties with their mental health, to go through periods of poor mental health, to feel stressed, depressed, anxious, and sometimes to become really ill. these are not, it's not some weird thing. It's actually a normal part of our experience. And I do think creativity helps us all. I mean, I don't think of myself as a particularly creative person, but I love I love doing it. I love kind of playing with it as well. And I think it helps us all express our own emotions, sometimes things that are too difficult to speak about. We can kind of connect with really difficult feelings, and also other people's creativity connects us to that as well. You know, so it's something about art and music and dance and all those things that inspire us and move us in ways that, well, in
Yeah.
essential ways.
Yeah.
What else can you say about creativity? It's essential, isn't it? It's essential to our nature, I think, and
It
to our
is.
emotional nature.
And
Um,
it's actually very rooted in our in
mm,
our beings, isn't it? As who we are
mm,
as mammals, as people, as as humans. That hundreds and hundreds of years ago we made art, we made
mm,
music, we danced,
mm.
we drew picture,
Yes,
we drew things
yeah.
on the wall and carved things, and it's something we've always done. It's very
Mm,
it's very instinctual. So
mm,
that connection is with the emotion actually is very rooted. It's more, it's more than just kind of putting something out for people to look at. That's actually something that
yeah.
comes from here. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. Nice. It feels like we've got a
And I
really,
think
yeah, go on. No, sorry, go on. I think there's a slight delay, so please.
no, no, I was just going to say about that normalizing it really.
Mm.
That I think the world that we live in is so bonkers and so mad. It's actually astonishing in a way that, that we managed to kind of get through it emotionally intact at all. I think it's such a mad world. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it's more important to recognise that than we tend to, we think we internalise that.
Mm.
So creativity is another way of kind of putting it out there, isn't it? It's about expressing
Yes.
So
ourselves and communicating.
yeah, when Sarah was saying that we, as prehistoric humans also, we used to do these things. I was just picturing like a bonfire with people sitting around and telling stories. I mean, that is the kind of
Mm,
thing that we are as humans. And actually, I feel we are missing it somewhere right now. Kind of, we don't sit down and talk with each other
mm,
like we used to. So this is kind of really good. You get to meet people even through Zoom or whatever, like online platform. It's a good thing that once in a while at least we sit together and just chat,
Yeah.
mhm,
and it will kind of bring out the things which you have actually put inside for a long time. I feel
mm,
this is a really good kind of, as a storyteller, I was just picturing that thing in my mind. So
mm,
it feels good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see it in my mind too. But
I uh,
yeah, I see it.
I
People
was reading a
sitting around.
book the other day by Tommy Orange, and there was a quote in there that talked about when things are hard, will there be songs? And the response was yes, there will
mm,
be sad songs.
mm,
There will always be songs.
mm,
And likewise, there will always be creativity. I mean, one of the things that artists do is speak to the times.
mm,
We always have. And one of the things that I find interesting during quarantine and this pandemic is that while I miss the things that I would normally show up for because I'm essentially an introvert, um, but I miss what I do show up for. Um, but at the same time, it's opened up opportunities to connect in different ways. Um, I don't think that with the pandemic, I would have had the opportunity, without it, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to watch sunrise at Stonehenge
I saw that. That was
virtually.
cool. Yeah.
Um, I recently watched a talk from the Getty Museum on Michelangelo, and I never would have known that Michelangelo had a cheese cave.
Really?
Literally had a cheese cave. And so I think it's those alternate means of connection right now that become that help things become you know it- Mr. Rogers said that the mentionable becomes the manageable.
Mm.
And it's that way with mental health. What we're able to talk about helps us move through.
Mm.
Yes.
And while I don't wish mental ill health on anyone, I will say that one of the benefits that I think that has come from COVID-19 is it's normalized
Mm.
mental health
Mm.
in a way that might not have happened otherwise. It's opened up a conversation and made it more accept- i- in some ways more accessible
Mm.
to get help,
Mm.
as well as more acceptable to be having challenges with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, it's had its own gifts in a way.
Mm.
It's definitely changed my perspective. Um, I put in a vegetable garden this year because I was like, at the beginning of the pandemic, um, I was worried about food safety, food accessibility, and I literally named it the COVID Garden of Hope,
Ah.
um, because that's what it was to me. And I think what's interesting is in some ways, we've been encouraged and or forced to find different coping skills
Mm.
because what normally might have worked may not be working the same way now. And if we try something, maybe we get 15 minutes apiece that we didn't have before. So it's been interesting in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true that the things that we might have done before to cope may not work now, and we're kind of navigating that and finding new ways.
Mm.
And it's quite remarkable, actually, the way people have adapted, and the world has changed to such a degree, but people have adapted, and we've kind of found other methods, and we've experimented, and we've done things, um and yeah, this it has become more of an acceptable topic to speak about our mental health, and which is a very positive thing overall, because that's something that all of us in this Zoom room have been striving towards for years. You know, to speak more about it, to have more of an open dialogue. There's a couple of messages come through. So Liz is saying, how do I join the discussion? Liz, just say something. Join the discussion, get involved, put something in the chat. We're just talking generally, really, Liz, about the current situation, about what helps, about creativity, and we're also here to talk about the arts magazine, the Creative Mental Health Guide, which is launched today. I'll put it in the comments again. So where's the chat? You're on the chat now, Liz. Just you can always write something in there to say hello. I'm gonna write something for you. And anyone else who's out there, just jot down your thoughts in the chat box. And we'll bring it up in the conversation. Sorry, go on, Karen.
Sarah, is it worth mentioning about the Trialogue event coming up on the 19th?
Yeah, definitely. That's really
as we're
yeah
international here, and where it's on Zoom, actually anybody can access it.
Yeah, well prompted.
Shall I say something about the Trialogs? And
yeah, go for it.
I'm just thinking, Mary, you were saying about having we don't sit and kind of have reflective conversations often, yeah, so Trialogs is a model of discussing mental health, which we've been holding Trialogue events in Hampshire for quite a few years now, and with the pandemic we've experimented with it going online, and the idea is that it's a facilitated conversation basically with a group of people, and you start off with a question that's quite a broad question. I can't remember what our last question was, Sarah, from the last Trialogue, but it might be something about how do we
I think there was something.
How do we help communities become more mentally healthy?
Yeah.
Or how do we take care of our mental health, or something? It's quite a broad question, and then we have a chair and somebody taking notes about the discussion, but basically it's just an open dialogue structure, so people can just kind of contribute their thoughts, and then that stimulates other people to join in the conversation. They're quite inspiring events because they kind of, I don't know, it seems to kind of open up the discussion about mental health in a way that often doesn't happen. Very often the kinds of discussions that happen around mental health are very agendaed and kind of constrained down certain channels, but the Trialogue method, it feels like it opens it up more, so it'd be great. So the next one, which is part of the festival that Sarah's been putting together, is on the Monday the 19th of October. I don't know how the time frame works for you both.
Oh yeah, because it's
in
7
the
o'clock.
UK it'll be 7 o'clock in the evening, so I don't know, it might be in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night, yeah.
So we haven't really thought about that, have we?
No. No, trying to get time zones right is actually really difficult. What are we in at the moment? So we're afternoon for me and you, Carolyn. We're in the morning for Paulista, and we're in the evening for Mary. So
right, yeah. But it would be fantastic to have a more international feel, wouldn't it, to the trialogues?
It really would.
That would be incredible, yeah.
And I've put the
So
link.
maybe we need to be part.
Yeah, I've put the link in the sign up for the trialogs in the chat there. And yeah, it's also advertised on the magazine website too, for the sign up, so you can find it on the website. And yeah, it's definitely really relevant to what we're talking about, and it'd be really cool to have a bit more of a world attendance.
And just linking in with the creativity side, what we've done with our trialogues is we've got someone who's a kind of our resident artist, so someone as part of our cooperative, and she sits in with the trialogue discussions and then afterwards creates some pieces of art inspired by the themes of the discussion. So that's been brilliant as well. And in fact, I think in the previous creative mental health guides, you featured some of that art, haven't you, Sarah?
I have, yeah. There was an article, yeah. I think
that might be something we could do again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'd be worth updating that. In fact, I was looking at that the other day because it is still on there, but it's some years back now when we very first started the trialogue. So we've got new bits of art now. So yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah. Oh, and Liz is saying she enjoyed the dancing. She would like to do more of that. So that's cool. Yeah, we've had some dancing going on. And we had a flamenco workshop the other day as part of the festival as well, which was fun. I'm just getting through some different comments here. So yeah, just people sort of keen to get involved in the conversation, really, and on this topic, just generally enjoying being creative at this time, these connections across the world, and yeah, if we can kind of bring that together into the trialogue, it'll be amazing. Maybe if we do it again, we could think a bit about time differences, try and slot it in. It seems like middle of the day works.
Yes, yeah.
Cool. Well, we've gone on for about half an hour, so it kind of feels like it's probably enough. But it's been amazing to have you guys all together and to be able to have this chat online, and for you guys watching as well, thanks so much for participating in the chat and just kind of letting me know that you were there, and leaving all your comments. So it was lovely to read them through and just kind of have that connection with you while we're having this conversation. It's just a shame in a way that has to come through me, and that there's no way I can kind of sync it into the Zoom. I'm just waiting somehow for Zoom to one day do an update where I can sync my streaming chat box into Zoom, because that would be amazing. Zoom guys, if you're listening, we want this update, because that's the only downside. There's that sort of that you sort of lose that connection slightly, but it works. It's fine. So thanks so much, everyone. Is there anything sort of final that you guys want to say? Anything that we haven't brought up before we do close the session, or we all feeling good about it? Cool. So everyone watching, check out the magazine on the website above us there, which is www.creativementalhealthguide.org, and have a little look. Click the front cover and you'll get into the contents, and have a read. And yeah, you can always leave a comment on the magazine, or share it to a page in Facebook or Instagram or any chosen social media of your choice. And let us know what you think as well, because it's always really, really good to get some feedback. So, brilliant. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Right.
Bye.
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 Yeah.